Hello, this is a review of your 4th grade Go Math Workbook, Chapter 12. We are on lesson 12.7. This is a review of lesson 12.7 in your Go Math Workbook. That is going to be starting on page number 679. So, in this lesson, we are talking about metric units of mass and liquid volume. How do we compare metric units of mass and metric units of liquid volume? So again, and I've talked about this in the last 2 lessons for chapter 12. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Matter is just like stuff. So this is matter, this is matter, this is matter. The question is, what is mass? Mass is the amount of matter in an object. So how much mass is in this Hershey Kiss and how much mass is in this ink pen? Okay, how much does it take up? Metric units of mass include kilograms and grams. If you go back and watch lesson 12.1, you'll be able to get a benchmark of these things. And so liters and milliliters are metric units of liquid volume. How much liquid will fit into a cup or a bowl or a dish or a bag or whatever, a pool, anything. Metric units of liquid volume. So on page 679, you will see here that this chart shows the relationship between these units. So you have the first chart, metric units of mass. That's 1 kilogram, and 1 kilogram is the same as 1,000 grams. So that's 1, 2, 3 hops, because we know from lesson 12.1 that the metric system is based on multiples of 10. Each unit is 10 times as large as the next smaller unit. And so when we go from grams to kilograms, it's not just one hop. It's not just one, it's 3. There are 3 different units there before you get to kilogram, okay? And then we have metric units of liquid volume. Again, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. That's 3 hops there. We've got 3 hops to go from liters to milliliters. And now, when you go from gram to kilogram, you're getting larger, okay? When you go from liter to milliliter, you're getting smaller, right? So let's start off by, as they do there in example 1 on page 679, let's start off by comparing kilograms and grams. And before we do that, let's be very clear. You're never going to compare grams and liters, okay? You're never going to compare grams and meters, because those things are not the same. We're not going to compare how long is this ruler versus how much liquid is in this cup. These are 2 different things, all right? So only we're going to be comparing liters with liters, liters and milliliters and that, or grams with grams, grams and kilograms, or in chapter 12, lesson 6 in the previous video, meters, centimeters, decimeters, millimeters, okay? We're never going to put those 2 together. That's why in your book here, you see that you have example 1 and example 2. They're separated because we can't put those things together. So, compare kilograms and grams. Becky planted a flower garden full of bluebonnets. That's the picture you see there. She used 9 kilograms of soil. How many grams of soil is that? So, in the example here, we have 9 kilograms, and then we're going to multiply that 9 kilograms times 1,000, because that's how many grams are in 1 kilogram. And your total amount here is then going to be 9,000, because you know that 9 times 1,000 equals 9,000. So Becky used 9,000 grams of soil to plant her bluebonnets. Now let's go to the questions in that little purple box. Are kilograms heavier or lighter than grams? Well, 1 kilogram, if you only have 1, then you have 1,000 grams. So are they going to be heavier or lighter? They're going to be heavier. 1 kilogram is heavier than 1 gram. Okay? 1 gram is like this much. 1 kilogram is 1,000 of these. Okay? So kilograms are most certainly going to be heavier. Will the number of grams, now here's where it gets a little bit tricky in your brain. You have to think. Will the number of grams be greater than or less than the number of kilograms? Well, kilograms are more heavier. So if kilograms are more heavier, if I think about this. Now, think about it like this. You have more grams. You need more grams to equal 1 gram. So, will the number of grams be greater than or less than the number of kilograms? Greater than, because it takes more grams for you to equal 1 kilogram. So if you do that, then you're going to have more there, okay? So you're going to have greater than. And then what operation will you use to solve the problem? We learned this in lesson 12.6, multiplication. And we're multiplying by multiples of 10. And so in this case, it's 1,000 because we're making 3 hops. 10, 10, 10. That's 3 zeros. That's 1,000. Okay. Example 2. It's the same thing, just a different, now we're talking about liters. We're talking about volume. Becky used 5 liters of water to water her bluebonnet garden. How many milliliters of water is that? So we have number of liters is 5. Milliliters in 1 liter is 1,000. We're going to multiply 5 times 1,000. Here on this line right here, you are going to write 5,000. So Becky used, 5,000 milliliters of water. Your 5,000 is going to go right here. And remember, this is because we're going from grams to kilograms and liters to milliliters. We're doing 3 hops because you still have decagrams, centigrams, and milligrams. And to get to, you have the same prefixes before that. And so it's 3 hops. Okay, let's turn over to page 680. There are 3 liters of water in a pitcher. How many milliliters of water are in the pitcher? Okay, again, we're doing 3 hops. So this should be, we should be getting to the place where this becomes fairly simple. Again, I would recommend after watching this video that you go to thinkcentral.com and you watch the videos on you do the workbook pages on thinkcentral.com, because that's going to give you the show an example, give me step-by-step instruction, check my answer. That's going to give you a lot more instruction as you start to think these things out for yourself, okay? Just imagine that doing it on Think Central is like having your teacher right there with you. But while we're doing this video, I'll show you this. The pitcher of water. There are blank milliliters in 1 liter. Since I'm changing from a larger unit to a smaller unit, I can blank 3 by 1,000. What goes on those lines? On this first line here, what goes here? How many milliliters are in a liter? 1,000, I hope you said. I hope you said 1,000. And then what operation do we use? We multiply. We're multiplying to get to the smaller unit. The reason we're multiplying to get to the smaller unit is because there are more units in, let's just use meters for example. Here is your decameter. There are 10 centimeters in your decameter, decimeter, whatever. There are 100 millimeters in your decimeter, okay? And so, because because the units are smaller, there are more of them. And so we're multiplying, okay? So there are, right here we are. So there are 3,000 milliliters of water in the pitcher, okay? And then, so here's what you have to realize for chapter 12.7. We're making 3 hops here, okay? We're making 3 hops, and these charts are going to be your value. These are going to be your heavy hitters, your value players, all right? You're going to need to be really familiar with these charts. And then again, I will say it again, back in lesson 12.1, You need to have this order memorized. You need to know that it's meter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, and that is the order of things. The cool thing is it's the same thing for these. Liter, deciliter, centiliter, milliliter. It's the same. And so obviously we're not talking about that, and that's why that's just a small little plug, okay? Before we go, let's look down at page 680 at these charts. Let's look at one of these charts real quick. Liters to milliliters. We're looking for a pattern. If there's 1 liter, then there's 1,000 milliliters. If there's 2 liters, then there's 2,000. You're right. If there's 3, then there's 3,000, okay? I don't think that you guys filling out this chart is going to be a huge deal. I think you're going to be great at it. I think you have a great understanding of things being 10 times the value. I think that we've talked about that a lot in my class anyway. We have really, really talked about that a lot, and I think you guys have a good understanding of that. And so with that, with a good understanding of that, that makes an understanding of this kind of jumps right into it, okay? So that is a review video of your Chapter 12 Workbook, Lesson 7, 12.7, pages 679, and you have a lot of practice all the way to 682.